Hi everyone. Gordon Lightfoot song, If You Could Read My Mind. I think that's what it's called. If you could read my mind, girl, what a tale my thoughts could tell. Just like an old-time movie of a ghost in a wishing well, in a castle dark or a fortress strong, with chains upon my feet. You know that ghost is me. Now I've lost everybody. You've all switched off. But the reason why I've mentioned that song, and do forgive my singing, but the reason why I mentioned that song is because I was that ghost in the wishing well with chains on my feet, tied to the house for 20 years, living with a man who lived the single life. He went out, he had fun. Every weekend he was out with his friends, men only nights out. I was the one at home doing the cooking, doing the cleaning, looking after the kids. I even went to parent evenings on my own. I even went to sports days on my own. And I would be there looking at women with their husbands or partners, all taking interest in the children. Where were my husband? He was out having a good time. And I do believe there are a lot of people out there that are in the same situation. I'm going to change my hand, and I'm not going to be a marriage counsellor here, and I'm not going to tell you what you have to do, but after 20 years of me living that kind of lifestyle, I had to get out because I didn't have a life. I was getting very depressed. I was getting lonely because I had no friends, because every time they would ring up and say, do you want to go out? I couldn't go out because I was babysitting 2 children while he was out enjoying his life. And despite how many times I would try and sit down and discuss my feelings with him, he just said, oh, you're over exaggerating. You know you can go out. Anytime you want, you can go out. And I went, how? When? When can I actually go out? Because you're out. Who's going to look after the children? You know, it wasn't easy to get babysitters because I actually personally didn't trust some of them. I think they're maybe too young. Parents, my grandparents, their grandparents, they just lived too far away. So there wasn't a babysitter available just at the drop of a hat for when I wanted to go out. Also, I would mention to him, like Christmas time, for example, we never ever went out together over Christmas. He went out, did everything, men only nights out. They had the traditions that they used to do every year. It was a stupid tradition and it used to wind me up something chronic, but they would go around judging pubs on the atmosphere, the decor, and it was just basically an excuse to get drunk. Can I go up that way? Come on, let's go this way. And it was just an excuse to go out and get drunk. And although he actually didn't always get drunk, but the fact is, he was constantly out having a good time every Friday night, going out playing squash every Saturday night, going out for drinks with his friends. And I had no life whatsoever. And after 20 years of that, I had enough. My oldest daughter came in from school one day. She put her bags down in the kitchen and she said, Mum, you need to leave, because I've never seen you smile or laugh. And that cut like a knife. When your daughter tells you, I've never seen you smile, never seen you laugh, that can cut like a knife. And it really did made me think about how I had to move forward with this. Now, I am not telling you this is what you have to do. If you can't talk to your partner and discuss your feelings and get over it, I mean, there's marriage counselling out there. There is help out there. My partner wasn't interested in that. When I said anything to him, he just told me I was exaggerating or I was making a mountain out of a molehill. And I wasn't. Why should I live a married life with a single man? Because that's what I felt like. I felt like a single married woman. And wasn't having it anymore, so I left. In the end, I left. And now I do everything. I have a fantastic life now. I go where I want, I do what I want, I cook what I want, I eat what I want. I don't have to listen to the news on the TV or sports on the TV. If I don't want to listen to any sports, I don't have to listen to it, because that's another thing. You can end up being a sport widow. He would play golf. He did absolutely everything he possibly could with other people and not with me. Because I did actually ask him, I said, do you actually love me? Do you actually want to be in this relationship? Do you actually want to be married? Because all I feel like is a substitute to your mother, as in the cook, the cleaner and the housemaid, and a babysitter to your children. I said, you don't even spend time with your own children. You've never sat down and got the train set out and built a train track with your son. You've never shown any interest in what your daughter does. So, but like I say, but after even just discussing all this with him, things didn't change. I was just overreacting. And I think if a man turns around and tells you that you're overreacting or you're being paranoid and I don't think he respects you. There's no respect there. He had no respect for the fact that I actually do have a life and I want to live that life. But whilst ever I was living with him, I was not going to live the life that I wanted to. So it was a heartbreaking decision, because yes, I did love him, but I didn't love the life. And it wasn't easy for me to leave. You've got to think of all kinds of things. Where are you going to live? How are you going to manage financially? And yes, I had my own job and I had my own work. I am an ex-driving instructor. So I did have an income coming in. It was just the uproot of it all, the trauma of it all, everything about it. But in actual fact, what I ended up doing, I went off to Spain. I took myself off to Spain and I went and lived there. The children were old enough to make their own mind up where they wanted to be, where they wanted to live and stuff. And that's why I waited so long before I moved out. I couldn't move out when they were too young. But does this all sound familiar to you? Are you that man and your wife is out having the good life and you're the one at home? Or are you the woman at home like this? All I can say is you need to think very hard about the direction you want your life to go in. And if you can't come to any reconciliation, or you can't talk to your partner about any of your feelings, about any of you need to walk the walk. I'm sorry, but I'm not no marriage counsellor. But if you want any life or your life back, it's not an easy decision to make, and it wasn't, and I didn't take it lightly by no means. What I had to do was get a financial package behind me to make sure that I was financially secure to move out. And yeah, it wasn't easy. But I just couldn't continue being that ghost in the castle, because not only does the depression set in, your feelings change, and my feelings started to change, and I could not get those feelings back. And although I did love him dearly, my feelings towards him were changing, and I couldn't get those feelings back. So when I heard that song yesterday, I've heard the song many times, but I just heard it yesterday and it just made me think, yeah, that was me. And I hope this has been helpful. And please don't take my advice and just get up and walk out, because that's not what I'm telling you to do. Get a plan together if you really do need to, but you can't continue living like that. Now, like I was saying, if a man isn't prepared to sit down and listen to your concerns and discuss them with you, then there's no respect. There is no respect there for you, and you have to make up your own mind whether you walk the walk and start living your life. So I'll leave you with that thought, and I hope if you are in that situation, you can see a way of sorting it amicably at home through a counsellor or marriage guidance, or sitting down with your husband or wife and resolve the situation. And if you can't resolve the situation, then the only other alternative is to leave and live your life. I'll leave you there. Okay, thank you very much. Bye bye.